Thank you so much, 100 girlfriends that really, 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 really love you, because this dialogue right here that Rentaro himself even says in this episode is just something that so many main characters of rom-coms or harems should learn from. And honestly, just writers in general, because let's be honest, one of the things that really just, like, stings a lot of people, why people really just do not like getting into even romance stories to begin with, we're not even talking about, like, the harem-type stories, we're just talking about a romance and maybe a love triangle, is because the main male character, or even the main female character, is incredibly dense to the point that they're a black hole. And it's like, even though the characters are just straight up telling you that they want to kiss you, or they want to be with you, whatever, the main character, is somehow just not able to figure this out. There's somehow, their brain cells are just not able to process what's being relayed to them, and it makes you like, wow, this is just incredibly annoying, because there's so many times within manga and anime to where events like this, is just stretched to the extreme for like 10 chapters, or even 100 chapters, who knows, it's like, the point is it makes me very happy. Just this dialogue alone lets us know what type of character we're dealing with as the main character of, 100 Girlfriends, but also that this story is not really wanting to waste your time. There may be 100 different girls that he's gonna have to, woo and all that, and eventually just get on his side, but it's not gonna waste your time to where it's like, oh, I don't understand what you're trying to say to me. It's very clear that Rentaro, he is literally a Giga Chad. He is an alpha male that is able to rizz up individuals, but also understand cues like, oh, they like me, they want to kiss me. I appreciate this. I appreciate this so much, and I feel like this is going to be a completely underrated moment from the episode that people are just not going to talk about, which is very sad, because this is legit a scene that really establishes how this series is trying to be different. And I know that this shouldn't be revolutionary, but it is, because just too many manga do it to where the main character is just not able to process what they're trying to do. Because it's like this whole interaction here where they're trying to kiss him and they're, wounding his eye, etc. Very funny. Like, this is a legitimately funny segment and all that, but it's like, most of the time, the entire episode would just stretch this entire scene, and the character would never really figure out that they want to kiss him. That's literally how it would go, and it would end in where there was just no kiss scene. And we would only get the kiss scene maybe on episode 12, 10, or whatever. So the fact that this happened on episode 2 is legitimately amazing. It's a nice step for the story to showcase, yeah, this series is actually trying to be serious, and really, this man is trying to conquer over 100 different girlfriends, which is just insane to think about. But okay, let's get into one of the big reasons why you clicked on this video, aka, the title and probably the thumbnail. Can we talk about how this series just has a lot of scenes that just feels like it's straight up from an H anime? Like, okay, I'll prove it here. So when he's walking over to her and he's reaching for a fill, like, we know, yeah, like, bro, like, legit, like, that scene, the art and animation legitimately looked like something out of, like, an H anime. Like, I'm just like, why is the animators doing that? Like, I don't know what it is, but, like, every time, like, Hikari is in the frame, and, like, she has, like, a close-up personal shot, like, with the Pocky scene here, when she's, like, eating Pocky, like, this whole scene is just, like, why is this just so well drawn and animated? And, like, if you were to take random screenshots of this and not tell anyone what this is, and they had no idea what 100 Girlfriends was, and you were just to take little screenshots here and there, they would assume that this is from a hentai. That's exactly what they would say. That they would legit think that this is what it is. And I want to say another scene that really kind of points this one out is this whole scene with, like, the tongue. Oh my goodness. This is just next level gross, and just like, it's like something like a face hugger would do, like a xenomorph, alien. Like, this is what it looks like. It's like, that is just horrifying. It is legitimately, like, this scene is just scary, and horror anime wish they had just traumatizing scenes like this in their shows, because this was unintentionally, I think, scary by just the way this whole segment was done. And it's just crazy, the overall tone shift of just like this to just a comedic scene of trying to, have a kiss and all that. It's, Kind of wild to me. Now, besides all that, I do want to talk about some things that really just demonstrate why this show is so good and why it's still popular to this day, like with the latest chapters, and why people have been recommending this series to everybody. That's anime only, or just people that want to read a good manga, is because Rintaro, he is next level. He is a guy that won't stop at just something simple of let me kiss you or grow up or whatever. He's a guy that wants to make sure everyone feels included and appreciated. And so he comes up with this very elaborate plan that obviously took a lot of thought. And even if it didn't end out perfectly well as he expected, it's very clear his time and dedication to, try to make sure nobody feels excluded, especially for a first kiss, is really beautiful. And the whole plan of this episode is literally him just saying, okay, we're going to put blindfolds on, we're going to, put, AirPods on, where we, block out, the sound and stuff. We're not going to be able to see, we're not going to be able to hear, and, we're going to do a dice roll to know where everybody's position is. And so when I go to kiss someone, we won't know exactly who I'm kissing, and I won't know, you won't know, and it'll be back to back. So to everybody's, overall impressions, everybody will be their first kiss. Like, Rintaro may kiss two individuals, but he won't know which one he's kissing first. So in everybody's mind, they'll be like, that was their first kiss. And it's a very beautiful and well thought out, elaborate plan. Obviously, there's things that kind of loosen it, and it isn't like something that, is perfect, but the thing is that he tries his best with a situation of having basically two girls that are his girlfriend, and once again, as a reminder, the reason why he has two girlfriends is because if he decides to deny any of his girlfriends and doesn't want to be with them and only select one, they will be lonely and just straight up die. So, he obviously is in a pickle. He has to try to make literally 100 different girls incredibly happy, or death is the dead end for them. So it's pretty bad. He's got a lot of stress on his shoulders. So having him go this extra level, like this layer of trying to really make them happy, is appreciative. It shows that he's not a scumbag. He's not trying to make himself only feel better. He really is trying to make them feel as happy as possible with a situation that isn't necessarily perfect. And I also do like how they kind of point out, like, wait a minute, with this whole plan, what stops us from removing our blindfold and just seeing who's actually getting the first kiss and all that? He's like, look, there's a solution to all this, pinky promise. And obviously it's very innocent, very naive, but it's like, at the end of the day, we are doing an exercise of trust. That's literally what it is. Rintaro's trying to put trust. He's doing his best for this plan, and so there should be a level of trust between the characters to be able to execute this. It's really sweet. I love this whole thing, and once again, it's very simplistic, but it's a very sweet, just overall demonstration of his love, and that his love isn't fickle. He really does try his best to make people happy, and that's why this series is just so endearing, and why, people enjoy this. It's because he isn't someone that is shy. He isn't someone that doesn't want to have a kiss, or he runs away, etc. It takes a lot of these cliches, breaks those cliches, does its own thing, and spins them too. It's really a refreshing rom-com harem story, and I love that. It is legitimately such a good series, and I'm just so glad it's getting the love and attention to detail that it actually deserves, because it really does deserve good detail, and it clearly is getting that. It is getting good attention to detail. Like, hell, I already mentioned in this video, there's a lot of scenes that just look like an H anime for whatever reason. It's just like, why? But anyways, back onto the point though, after all that, and obviously the plan goes sideways, he runs off and all that, and he, does the typical, cliche of the female character running off and all that, I'm useless, etc. Because if anyone's watched or read a lot of romance manga or watched romance anime or anything, they have probably seen this type of scene a lot, to where a female character will think they're useless or they mess something up even though it's just something very little, and they'll run off through a doorway, down a hallway, whatever. This is a typical cliche. However, having the main male character do this is legitimately refreshing as well, because it's like he's trying his best. Legit, he tried his best to make sure this situation works, but it obviously wasn't, and he just feels incredibly inexperienced and useless, and it's a very cute scene that comes off very well for a cliche. I think that this is a good, execution of a cliche within this type of genre that is just done incredibly well, and I don't think anyone's really going to have any problems with this. In fact, I think a lot of people are just going to laugh from this scene alone. Now, anyways, the end result, though, once everything is said and done, the main character was like, okay, if I can't, do this right, and, I'm going to make you two feel very awful, whoever, I kiss first, if you find out, I'd rather just give up my first kiss and make it absolutely heinous with the, that vice principal that's just running around with an alien-like tongue. He's like, I'll just do that. I'll ruin my first time for, you guys won't have to worry and hold it over each other's heads, etc. He was like, I'm going to do this. He's going to sacrifice it. It's a very noble endeavor to a degree, but then after all this is said and done and he makes his declaration and his determination, the two girls are like, okay, we rather one or the other kiss instead of just some random person. At least, we know each other loves you. So it's a very endearing scene that shows the bond between these two female characters and that, they also are becoming closer. And this whole demonstration at the end of the episode when they kiss, they have a three-way kiss. It's adorable, but we got a Yuri moment, folks. We got a absolute Yuri moment between the two characters, and they have gotten a lot closer and did a UFO summoning ritual. It's great, man. This show is just legitimately, it's amazing. I love 100 Girlfriends Really, Really Love You. It's too good, man. It gives me a smile. I was laughing. There's some fan service in it as well. It's good. It's a really good show. And so I'll leave it at that. If you enjoyed this video, do let me know in the comments below. How'd you feel about this episode as well? I am curious to see your guys' thoughts. And at the end of the day, every best girl wins. Nobody is above the other. That's a thing to really take away from the show. Look out. Love you guys. Chibi out.